Today we're going to hear about yoga, or yoga, whichever way you want to pronounce it. Because yoga is the means by which one can attain freedom from duality, delusion, and false designation. Now, if we think about it carefully, this world is a world of duality. At one moment, we're subject to heat of the summer, and later on, we're subject to the cold of the winter. At one moment, we're happy, and the next moment, we're distressed. At one moment, we are honored, and the next moment, we're dishonored. This is going on all the time. And it bewilders us. Oh, this friend of mine was speaking so highly about me a month ago. Now they're spreading all kinds of nasty statements about me. Or I have one friend, he's in his late 60s. One day he told me, Prabhu, when I first got married, it was ecstasy. My wife was only focused on being my companion, being my helper, my intimate friend, and we had real love. But that only lasted 2 weeks. For the last 45 years, it's been miserable. Well, I'm sure she would say the same thing. So this duality makes people crazy. How can he live meditating on the first 2 weeks of marriage after 50 years of marriage? You see? So this duality is driving us all, as they say in English, batty. So in the material world of duality, it's impossible to understand one thing without understanding its opposite. It's not possible to understand what honor is unless one has been dishonored. You can't understand what misery is unless you've never been happy. You've never tasted happiness. Nor can we understand what happiness is unless we've tasted misery. But in spiritual life, let's say to go back to Krishna, one has to transcend these dualities. It's like a ping pong ball. If you ever played ping pong, one person goes like this, and then the other person goes like this, and then the next person goes, and then the other person goes like this. So the ball is going back and forth, back and forth. That's what's happening in our mind. We're going back and forth, happiness, misery, honor, dishonor, heat, cold, riches, poverty. And it confuses people. I met someone once, he said, oh, you know, back in India, my family was the richest. We had everything. We had servants, we had this, we had that. I said, really? How come you're eating in the shelter, living in the shelters? Oh, I had some difficult times. But he's living with his family in India, even though he's living in a homeless shelter right now. Right? So that makes people very, very distressed and confused. So, in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna informs Arjuna that this happiness and distress is due only to the body. Like, for example, in winter, when I take a hot shower, I feel very good. But in winter, when it's very cold, if I take a cold shower, I don't feel good. Right? In summer, if I take a cold shower, I feel good. But if I take a real hot shower, I don't feel that good. So this feeling good is based on the body. It's not based on really good or really bad. It's based on the body that we're perceiving good and bad. Just like if I give a little boy a shot of whiskey, he says, Dad, I'm burning my throat. You're trying to kill me. But if I give a shot of whiskey to my uncle, he says, oh, you love me. You have given me real whiskey. You see? So, whether whiskey is good or bad, it all depends on the body. It's not that it's actually good or bad. Just like one man, he bought a pair of shoes. He went to Payless. In Payless, you know, they have just a specific stock of shoes in style. So the style he liked was in a smaller size than his foot. He had a size 11, and the one he liked was size 9. If they didn't have it in size 11, it had sold out already. So he got really upset. Then he finally decided, I'm going to take it anyway. I like this style. So he took those shoes, and he was walking around all day in those shoes. They were pinching his feet really bad, tight and squeezed. Everyone said, oh, they're nice shoes. I said, yeah, I just bought them. I really like this style. But when he got home, he had a headache, walking all day long with those small shoes on. So when he got home, he went like this. That's so good. Now the question is it actually good? What he was calling good was the temporary relief of misery. It wasn't really good. It was just temporary relief of his misery. This is what people call good in this world, because we have no knowledge of what is real happiness. Whenever there's a temporary relief of misery, we call that happiness. That's a poor standard. It's not real. So, in the second chapter, Krishna informs Arjuna that this perception of happiness and distress is only due to the temporary body. For example, let's say you have an itch on your side here. Now, what do you do with the itch? Well, if you have experience with itching, you know that if you itch it, you feel some relief. But then it comes back worse. You have to itch it more, and then there's some relief. And then it comes back again. Finally, you realize you spread the itch all over. Your skin is red, and it's itching like mad. You see. So, if when it first itched, you said to yourself, I'm not touching it. I'll wait till it goes away. I'll tolerate it. Because if I tolerate it now, it's better than later on when I spread it all over my body. You see. So this requires wisdom. But most people, they don't have that wisdom. They have an itch and go like this. You know. So this is a problem in life, to figure out what is wisdom. Wisdom will help us avoid a lot of trouble. Just like once there was a monkey, and he was really thirsty. And he was walking around trying to find water. Finally, he came to a beautiful lake, nice and calm, and the water was crystal clear. But he noticed something strange. He noticed that there were many tracks of people and animals walking into the lake, but he didn't see any tracks, footprints of people walking out of the lake. And just as he was going to jump into the lake to drink the water because he was dying of thirst, he had a doubt in his mind, and he pulled himself back and ran back and went up a tree and waited. After an hour, a gigantic monster came out of the lake. And he walked close to the monkey, and the monkey was shaking like this. The whole ground was shaking. And the monster said, "Monkey, you are the wisest of all the animals in the forest." The monkey said, "Please, sir, don't hurt me." "No, I'm not going to hurt you. I want to thank you for being so wise." He said, "Well, what did I do? What did I do?" He said, "You were able to figure out the mystery of the lake because you saw that all the footprints go into the lake, but none come out. And you controlled your desire to drink the water. Now ask any benediction from me, monkey, and I will give it to you." The monkey said, "Sir, all I want is for you to go back into the lake and leave me alone. I'm getting out of here." He said, No, you can't leave. You must take some benediction from me. Ask me for anything." So the monkey said, "I don't know what to ask for." He said, "I'll give you an idea." So the monster opened up his coat, and there were jewels, and there were all kinds of gold and silver ornaments. And the monkey said, "Where did you get all that?" He said, "I got it from the stupid people that walked into the lake." So, "Well, I don't want anything from dead people." "No, you must take something from me." So the monkey said, okay, but let me tell you my situation first. He said, "What is it?" He said, "I was living in the palace of a king. Not only me, my whole family, my uncles, my aunties, my children, my grandchildren, my cousins." He said, "We were happy. We were living in the palace garden. It was beautiful. There were so many fruits, so many nice things to eat. It was nectar, and we were happy. But one day, the king brought in a ram. He had big horns like this. He was very fatty, and he was his prize animal." He said, "Okay, so what?" He said, "Well, I could understand that this was trouble." So, "What do you mean?" He said, "Because if anything happened to that ram, let's say there's a fire, let's say he was injured seriously, one of the ministers would have told the king that the only way to heal the ram is with the fat of a monkey." "How did you figure that out?" "I don't know. It was an intuition. I'm always planning for the worst and hoping for the best." "You are a wise man." Well, I explained this to all my uncles and aunties and cousins and children and grandchildren. They all laughed at me. "You're just a stupid old fool. That thing's going to happen to that ram." "Well, sir, I believe in Murphy's Law." Do you know what Murphy's Law is? If the worst thing you can imagine could happen, it might happen. They all laughed at me. You said, "You're a fool. What are you suggesting?" I told them we should all leave. Go back to the forest where we belong. This type of life is artificial. All these nice fruits and vegetables. We don't have to work. It's not good for us. We're getting fat. We're getting lazy. We think we've reached the pinnacle of life. It's like somebody that works at Microsoft who has a 401k. And he's getting raises. And he's getting good reports. But he doesn't know that maybe 2 years from now he'll get fired. They say, "Old man, you're crazy. We're not leaving here. If you want, you go to the forest." I said, "Okay." My brothers and sisters have all become crazy. They can't listen to good reason. They're living an artificial life. Therefore, I left. I was very sad. And they all laughed at me. The monster said, "Why are you telling me this?" "Because," he said, "the worst thing that could happen, happened. One day there was a fire in the barn, and the ram got burned. He didn't die, but he was burned. And then the minister of the king said, there's only one way to heal the ram. It's with the fat of the monkeys. You know what they did? They rounded up all my cousins and brothers and aunties and uncles. They killed them, and they took their skins off, took their fat, and rubbed it on that big dumb ram, and saved him from dying." The king said, the monster said, "My God." So now I believe in Murphy's Law too. So the monkey said, "Now, my friend," he said, "if I take some benediction from you, it's to get revenge on that king and all his people. Can you help me?" "Monkey," he said, "I'm the expert in revenge. I know how to take care of greedy, nasty people." The monkey was frightened the way he said it, because this guy's big and he's saying something that really is mean. Even the monkey got it, although the monkey wants to get revenge, but the way the monster said it, like he was like shocked. He said, "What do I do?" He said, "You take this." And he took out this gorgeous necklace made of diamonds and rubies and emeralds. It was heavy, and it was extremely expensive. He said, "You wear this around your neck. Go back and jump around the trees. And when the king hears about it, he'll want to know where you got it from. When he asks you where you got it from, tell him there's plenty more. And you bring them all here and tell him it's in the lake. You just have to walk in and pick it up. The monkey said, my dear monster, he said, you're a damn intelligent person. So I'm frightened of you. I never saw an intelligent person. No, I'm not intelligent, he said. I just understand how people are greedy. He said, it's easy to defeat a greedy person. It's difficult to defeat an honest person. I said, okay, sir. So the monster gave him the necklace. The necklace was really heavy. These were like, they're not like little diamonds you buy in Fred Meyer. You know, you get a little ring. You know? Oh, it's a half a carat. It only costs $800. You know, no, it's nothing like that. These were like real diamonds. Each one was like a rock. So he went back to the palace, and he did just like the monster said. He jumped up on a tree, and he was jumping like that, you know. And people, you know, the soldiers, they saw this monkey with this amazing necklace. So they reported it to the king. He said, bring that monkey here. So the monkey let them catch him. And they brought him in front of the king. And the king said, where did you get that necklace? He said, oh, this necklace, this is nothing. What do you mean it's nothing? Let me see it. So he gave it to the king. He looked at it. My God, he said, this is worth a fortune. I've never seen anything like it. He said, that's nothing. That's the smallest one. He said, what? He said, there's plenty more. What? Where is it? Where is it? He said, you come with me. Tell me where it is. You come with me. Okay. So he ordered all his, but notice the king speaks something like the demon, right? They're all demons. So the king ordered all his soldiers, and the queen said, you can't go without me. I want a demon necklace like that too. He said, don't worry. And then the kid said, Daddy, we want to go too. We want a necklace. He said, okay. And then all the cousins and brothers, everybody in the family, they were all greedy. They all said, we want to come too. Why do you take them and not us? They said, well, you're going to come too. So they got the whole family, the whole dynasty of the king, right? They all went a royal procession. A monkey's sitting next to the king like this. You know, the king has the necklace on. He said, okay, my friend, where do we go now? He said, you go turn right at the next road. You go down here, and then you turn left. So they ended up in front of the lake, and the lake was a beautiful lake. The king said, I've never seen such a lake. He said, oh, you haven't seen anything yet, king. So when do you go in? You're going to see all the jewels. I can't wait. So I'm getting down. He said, no. Why you have to get down? You're a king. You don't go groveling in the water like some common man. I said, you're right. What should I do? Just sit next to me, king. Tell everybody else. Tell your wife to go. Tell your kids to go. Tell your cousins to go. Tell the army to go. And they'll pick it all for you and bring it back and it'll all be yours. You're right. I'm the king. I'll sit here with you. You're my friend. Said, yeah, now you know. So the whole family. And the queen said, I'm going first. Because she was the greediest of them all, right? So, you know, she had to go first. So they all go into the lake. And hundreds, thousands of people go into the lake. And they're running in. You know, you ever see, when we go to Salt Lake, you know, sometimes we run out into the lake. You know, this was the same thing. Everybody ran out into the lake. And they were looking around. And all of a sudden, they started disappearing, one after the other. And the king was watching this, and he kept squinting his eyes. And he said, what's going on there? He said, oh, nothing. They're finding more jewels. They're going underwater to find more jewels. Oh, right. After 5 minutes, there wasn't a person left. The lake became completely calm again. And the king said, what happened? What happened, monkey? And he looked. The monkey wasn't there. Monkey had jumped up a big, big tree all the way to the top. So where'd you go? What's happening here? The monkey said, now you know how I felt when you killed my whole family. The king said, what are you talking about? He said, because you were so greedy, I tricked you. There's a monster in this lake. And he killed all of your family. And now you're going to feel like I felt when you killed my whole family. So what are you talking about? What's going on? Oh! The monster grabbed him. He said, what's going on? He was screaming, let me go. And the monkey said, "Hasta luego, amigo." Bye bye. That's the end of the story. Now, this is an interesting story. Because the monster said, you can easily defeat a greedy person, but an honest person is difficult. Because an honest person said, look, I depend on Krishna. Krishna has given me 2 rotis every day. That's all my stomach can hold. I thank the Lord. What would I do with 4 or 8 or 16 rotis? I would just get a stomach ache, headache. I would get diarrhea. I'm going to be satisfied with 2 rotis. And anything extra, I give to other people. Why should I hold on to it? The bread will just go bad. That's it. Now you can understand why there is Occupy Wall Street. Why was there Occupy Wall Street? Because some person down on the street, not up on the 40th floor of the stock market building, has got $1 or $2 in his pocket. He's worried. How am I going to eat? What am I going to do? But up there on the 40th floor, there's a man that's got $40 billion. What's he going to do with $40 billion? He can't spend $40 billion. He's just accumulating it. It's like a crab. I don't know if you ever noticed crabs. If you study, sometimes they have shows about crabs on the Discovery Channel. And they show that the crab goes out and finds some dead thing and brings it back into his little cove and keeps it there. And if another crab comes by, he goes out to fight with him, to make him go away. And what does he keep? He keeps dead pieces of flesh in his cove to eat. That's exactly what the guy on the 40th floor is doing. He's collecting all his money and just accumulating it more and more. And there's a guy in the street that only has $2 in his pocket, doesn't know what he's going to do. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. That's why there was Occupy Wall Street. People were objecting. So what is this? One guy has all this money and thousands of people that bought his product or were cheated by him, they hardly have anything. They're struggling day to day. Why should we put up with this anymore? There's some logic to it. But in the Vedic system, it was not like that. The kings and the great rishis, they would organize big festivals like Rajasuya festival, Asvamedha Yajna, things like that. And this would cost a lot of money. And they would invite all the Brahmins, and they would give lavish charity to the Brahmins. But all the Brahmins, they all had a vow of poverty. They would go back to their villages and distribute it to the people. They would not keep it. Their mathematics was all for Krishna, and whatever Krishna gives me, I'm satisfied. But today, the new mathematics is 1 for Krishna, 10 for me. 2 for Krishna, 20 for me. 3 for Krishna, 60 for me. What kind of mathematics is that? That's the mathematics of maliciousness and greed. And it makes a lot of people unhappy and eventually envious and angry, you see. So, the Brahmins would go back with all this wealth, and they would distribute it to the people, but it wouldn't change their lifestyle. They would live with a vow of poverty. But they never lacked anything, because when you don't want much, you'll find a lot. He who wants little will find a lot. Right? Okay, so this requires tremendous mental equilibrium and integrity. That is what we're learning today. This is what yoga is all about. Real yoga means bhakti yoga, the yoga of love and devotion to Krishna. Not the yoga of calisthenics, gymnastics, and so forth, by which you increase your libido. That's not yoga. Yoga is decreasing the libido. Just like one day, this Muslim gentleman came. He was a type of imam in a mosque in area around here. And he said, I heard about you. I said, really? He said, yes. Allahu Akbar. I said, Allahu Akbar. He said, I hear you have good medicine. I said, well, I have some, natural things. I said, what do you want? Said, I want something you know what it's for. I said, how do I know what it's for? He said, you know what it's for. I said, how do I know? He said, no, you know. It's for, I have one wife, but I'm going to get second wife. And I'm thinking a third wife. And Allah said I can have 4. Now you know what it's for, right? I said, I get the idea. I said, but I sell products that diminish what you want. He said, what? I said, I don't want that. I said, yeah. What I sell is, it cuts it off. It cuts it out. He said, no, I don't want that. I want the opposite. I said, I don't have that. Why you don't have? People say you have good medicine. I said, this is the good medicine. No. That's not the good medicine. I want the other medicine. I said, okay, you go to a drugstore, you can buy it. See how crazy people are? They want to increase material attachment, entanglement. And Vedas are teaching how to decrease the material attachment and entanglement. So, Krishna says, Jnana Vijnana Triptatma Kutasto Vijitendriya Yukta iti uchyate yogi samalostras makanchana. This is Bhagavad Gita, and the 6th chapter, verse number 8. And it says, a person is said to be established in self-realization and is called a yogi or a mystic when he is fully satisfied by virtue of acquired knowledge, not acquired wealth, power, or prestige, but acquired knowledge and realization. Such a person is situated in transcendence and is self-controlled. He sees everything, whether they be pebbles, stones, or gold, as the same. Now, one time, Prabhupada was lecturing on this verse, and some man said, this doesn't make sense. Do you see pebbles, stone, and gold as the same? Like, for example, let's say I took someone by random. Let's say I take my friend Sanjay here. And I say, Sanjay, you have your choice. You want some pebbles and stone, or you want some gold? Which one do you take? See? I would too. I'm no different than you, right? So that means that we're not very advanced spiritually yet. Because we don't see pebbles, stones, and gold as the same. Samalustras makanchana. Right? But don't forget the monkey and the king. The king went for the gold. What happened? He was killed. So, we should go for acquired knowledge of self-realization. That's what we should. That's the real gold. It's not this yellow stool that costs a couple $100 an ounce. That's not the real gold. There was one man, he was a very stingy man. Even when he picked his nose, he would not throw it away. That's how stingy he was. He wouldn't throw it away. He said, it's mine. Okay? So this man, he didn't trust anyone. Didn't trust his wife, didn't trust his kids, didn't trust his uncles and aunties, didn't trust anyone, didn't trust banks, didn't trust Obama. You know he's really bad. He put his money in the ground. He buried it in a place, deep in the forest. And every month he would go there, not to dig it up. He would just go like this. He'd put his hand on top of where it was buried. He'd go, like that. See? He would get excited just by putting his hand on top of it. Never dug it up. Only when he had more wealth, then he would dig it up, put it in, and then put it back and go, like that. You see? This is what people do. Like, let's say you get your report from the stockbroker once a month. $1 million. They don't have to touch the ground. They touch the paper on which it's written. You have $1 million in the bank. Ooh, like this, you see?